Find rest, find peace, find joy. You're here with me. Blue.
Sometimes when I read a verse, I realize that God is speaking directly into something I'm going through. Psalm 121 begins with a question: where does my help come from? And then comes the answer: my help comes from the Lord, the one who made heaven and earth. I have read these words before, but today they feel a little different. In fact, every time it feels a little different, because there are seasons in life when you don't realize how much you need help, or maybe you do realize. Not just practical help, not someone telling you what to do, but the kind of help that reaches the places in your heart that nobody else can see. The kind of help that gives you peace even when you don't have all the answers. And for me, that is what this psalm is reminding me of today. My help comes from the Lord, not from having everything figured out, not from knowing that what tomorrow will look like, not from being strong all the time, but from knowing that God is with me. Psalm 191 goes on to remind us that He will not let our foot slip. And I love that picture, because sometimes life really does feel like you're walking on, as my son says, wibbly wobbly ground. You don't know what's coming next. You don't know how a situation will turn out. You don't know whether the decision you're making right now is the right one. But you know who does? God. God does know. And the psalm reminds me that while I may not know what is ahead, God does. He watches over me. He watches over my family. He doesn't fall asleep. He doesn't get distracted like we do. He doesn't stop paying attention. God is watching us all the time. And when I think about that, I realize how different my worries look when I place them in the hands of the one who created me. I've seen this in scripture so many times. Think about David. When there were armies looking for him, Saul had people searching for him. It wasn't about David was because he was simply better at hiding. It was because God was protecting him. God was with him. And sometimes I think that's what we forget. We look at our circumstances and think, well, how am I going to get through this? But maybe the better question is, who is walking with me through all this chaos? And the answer is God. I live in a foreign land with my little family, and there are moments when I wish I had someone nearby who could simply tell me, don't worry, I've got you. Sometimes someone I could call when my little boy is sick, someone I could ask when I have hundreds of questions about motherhood, someone who could just sit with me when it's all overwhelming. There have been so many moments when I'm broken down, so many moments when I've wished I had someone to turn to. And maybe you have experienced that too. Maybe you're surrounded by people and still feel alone. Maybe you have questions that nobody seems to have answers to. Maybe you're carrying something quietly and you haven't told anyone about it. Maybe you're trying to be strong for everybody else, while inside you're asking God, Lord, what am I supposed to do now? I've asked those questions so many times, and I've learned something. I don't have to always have answers. And I know where I can go. I can go to God. I can get down on my knees and talk to Him. I can tell Him exactly how I feel. I don't have to make my prayers sound beautiful or elaborate. I don't have to use big words. I don't have to pretend. I can simply come to God. And sometimes that's where I find my greatest comfort. Because I may not know what the solution to my problem will be, but I know the one who created me. I know the one who created this world. And if He can hold the creation in His hands, I can definitely trust Him with the little things that feel so big to me. I can trust Him with my family, with my unanswered questions, with my tomorrows. And maybe that's what faith really looks like sometimes. Not having all the answers, but knowing who to turn when we don't have answers. There are things in my life that I wish I could have changed. There are questions I wish I could have answers to. There are moments that I wish had gone differently, but I'm learning that peace doesn't always come from understanding why something happened. Sometimes peace comes from knowing who is with me in the middle of all this. And today I want to remember that my help comes from the Lord, the one who made heaven and earth. He watches over me, He watches over my family. He sees what I cannot see. He knows what I don't know. And even when I feel like I'm walking through an uncertain ground, He will not let my foot slip. So if you're listening to this today and carrying something heavy, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. You don't have to have it all figured out today or tomorrow. You don't have to know exactly how everything will work out. Just remember where your help comes from.